and this is some of the things I discovered, and this is mind-blowing, what I'm about to say, okay? The return of Jesus is the second most frequent mentioned topic in the Bible.
Wow.
Second,
And that's not
only
just,
to salvation.
Can I ask, is that not just the New Testament? That's the entirety of the Bible. That's Old Testament and
I'm
New
almost
Testament.
sure it's the entire Bible,
Okay.
but I know for sure it's the New Testament.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's mentioned 318 times in the New Testament.
Wow.
318 times. 23 of 27 books in the New Testament talk about it. Only 4 books in the New Testament don't talk about Jesus' second coming. This is the mind blower. 1 out of every 30 verses in the New Testament talk about the second coming of Jesus. And on top of that, it was the second, if you look at the early church fathers, Polycarp, if you look at all these guys that were discipled by the disciples, if you look at their writings, it was the second most written about thing by the early church fathers. We're talking about the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century church. So all of a sudden I'm thinking here, wow, God's talking about this a lot. Now, here's the question I had to ask myself. If God, who is perfect in wisdom, gives this much attention to the second coming of Jesus, what should be the fruit of us reading and studying and meditating on this? It shouldn't be slothfulness or contentious arguments. It should be what? Passion to advance the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because
creates an urgency.
At 1:30 in the morning, the Holy Spirit woke me up. I was up from 1:30 to 3 this morning. The Holy Spirit, I know,
Which
woke
normally
me up.
you're up from 3:30 till like the rest of the day.
Well, I usually
feel like
get
it's
up
a weird
around 5.
Yeah, I feel like it's a weird 1:30 to 3. When you said that, I was like, that's unusual.
He woke me up last night, and I started praying in the living room, and I was walking back and forth and praying, and I felt like the Holy Spirit said, go up and see how often and frequently the disciples write about Jesus coming soon. Now, I'm thinking, okay, these guys wrote in the 1st century AD, right? Okay, Revelations 3:11. This is right out of Jesus' mouth. I am coming soon.
Yeah.
Hold on to what you have so that no one will take away your crown. That's Revelations 3:11. Revelations 22:7. Look, I am coming soon. Blessed are those who obey the words of this prophecy of this book. Revelations 22, verse 12. These are all right from Jesus' mouth. Look, I am coming soon. All right, this is written in 95. John wrote this in 95 AD.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, 1 Corinthians 7:29. But let me say this, dear brothers and sisters, the time remains very short. So from now on, those with wives should not only focus on their marriage. Those who weep or those who rejoice or those who buy things should not be absorbed by their weeping or their joy or their possessions. Those who use things of the world should not become attached to them. For this world, as we know it, will soon. So here we are again in 95, soon pass away. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Listen, this is amazing. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on the things which can't be seen. For the things which we see now, soon, again, will be gone. Philippians 4:5. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. 1 Peter 4:7. The end of the world is coming soon. Therefore, be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Okay, whoa. I started thinking, okay, these guys are writing as if this is happening in their generation. And that was in the 1st century. We're 2,000 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what's going on here? So I started thinking about this in the fact that when Peter writes about the people that will mock and scoff and say, where's the promise of his coming? For ever since the fathers fell asleep, everything remains the same.